Hey everybody, welcome back to Lemon Branch DIY. Today we're working on the air conditioning in my Honda Pilot. So this is a 2015 Honda Pilot. So what happens is over time it's blowing cold and then it just starts to taper off a little bit. Well, it's still blowing cool, it's just not cold. So what we're gonna do is recharge the system. We don't have to take it into the shop to get the AC worked on. We can do all of this on our own, and it's as simple as just recharging the system. So let me show you kind of how we do it. It's super easy. Okay, now there are several different ways that you can get this refrigerant. So the refrigerant that we're going to be using, it's called 134A. So you have to find this 134A, and sometimes it has like stop leak in it, sometimes it'll have a dye in it, sometimes it'll have different things in it that will help you when you go to charge the system. So if you have like tiny little pinprick holes or whatever in the hoses, you can't see them, it's kind of hard to identify. You can have something in it, it's called a stop leak. I know I don't have that problem because we have cool air, it's just not cold. We just are kind of snobs that way and want it really cold. So we're just doing just a straight refrigerant. Now you can pick these cans up pretty much everywhere. So Walmart, Amazon, any auto shop, AutoZone, O'Reilly, they all have this stuff. Especially during the summer months, they have a huge quantity and they're stocked usually right at the front of the store because everybody's having the same problem. But this is the trick here. So I'm going to explain, this is a refill. So what I did is I originally had a different one that came with the actual hose and the quick attachment. That is something, if you don't have one of these, then just purchase one. It's all ready to go, and I'll show you a picture right now on the screen, kind of an example. But after you're done with it the first time, what you want to do is make sure you take this top part off. You just unscrew the can and you get to use this top part again. It's a reusable dispenser. So going forward, instead of being $45, then this little can here becomes only like $10 to recharge. So every time you feel like your AC is just not where it needs to be, you can just pay $10 to do this quick little fix. So what you do is you just screw this on, and you can see how easy it is to screw on. Now we've got it ready to go. The next thing we got to do is we're going to start the car and we're going to run the AC on high. So while it's doing that, we want it to get as cold as we possibly can and leave it running so that the refrigerant is circulating through the system when we go to charge it up. So let's go ahead and get it started. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, let's get the car started. And then we're going to make sure that the AC is on. So you see it's AC on and all the way turned up. So we've got that as high as it'll go. After it gets going, it'll start blowing cool air. Now, if you've never popped a hood before in a Honda, it's down here by the pedals. So you got your pedals right there, just to the left. There's this little lever here. You just pull that out and that will pop open the hood. When you go to open it up, if you've never done it before, there's a little lever here. You just slide it to the side and you can pop the hood open. And then this has this little arm. You just attach it there and now the hood will stay up. Okay, now what we got to do is we got to locate where the low pressure valve is for the air conditioning so that we can hook this guy up. It's really easy to identify. Okay, so to identify where to put this refrigerant in, we're going to look at the engine, and it doesn't matter what engine you're working on, you're always going to find some kind of a rubber hose that comes into a metal hose. And that metal hose usually has an L on it or some sort of cap. And you'll see that metal hose. Next to the metal hose, you'll see this cap. If you look at the top of the cap, usually it'll have an L on it. So if we look at the cap, you'll see that actually has an L on it, which means that's the low pressure. So this is the spigot that we're going to be working on in order to recharge the system. The other thing is after a few minutes when you've had this running, this silver pipe is going to start getting nice and cold. If your refrigerant's not working at all, this will not be cold, but you can always tell you're working on the right line too, because it will end up being cold after a few minutes. Okay, so now that we've identified the low pressure cap, we're just going to take the cap off. And what's cool about these recharge systems is it's a quick connect. So we're just going to take this cap, we're going to use our thumb, push down on it just like this. See how that moves like that? So we're just going to go like that. and attach it right to that spigot, and then you'll feel it click into place. Then it's nice and tight. When we look at the can, right now it's showing we actually have full pressure, but we want to get just a little bit more in there. So we're going to go back and forth with it and slowly pull the trigger. So we're going to just kind of start putting some in. So we're just going to pressurize this as much as we can. You shake the can just a little bit to try and get more pressure in there, and then you just keep hitting the trigger until it's as full as it can get. Then we just undo that, and that's all you need to do to charge up the system. Now we'll just double check and see if it's blowing any cooler for the air. So I'm just going to put the cap back on. So we'll just get that cap back on it. And now we'll just double check. Okay, so the good news is now we're checking it, and this is really nice and cold. So just by putting a little bit of that refrigerant, it just charged it back up, it repressurized the system, and now we've got nice and cold air. If this does not fix it, check the pressure on it, and if you can't get it into the green, and if you've done the entire contents of the can, you might need a second can, or you have a leak in it. So this is just a quick fix to just get it back up and running again for you. If this does not work, then you might have to look at, taking it into the shop, because there could be some other issues. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like this, make sure you hit that thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.